So you can go ahead and just find a spot. Matter of fact, one of the butterflies hanging out in front of you from the ceiling. Go ahead and just pick one of those butterflies that you would like to focus your attention on right now. Fixating your gaze right there on that one particular butterfly. And as you fixate your gaze, you can just begin to notice what you notice about your eyes. And your eyes don't have to do anything in particular right now, but many people notice that their eyes, as they stare onto or into a particular butterfly, many people notice that the eyes begin to blink more frequently. You may notice that the eyes get heavier. You may notice that they begin to water. And it really doesn't matter what you notice about what your eyes begin to do. It's just interesting to take a moment to notice what you notice. And keeping your gaze right there in front of you, just go ahead and begin to breathe deeply in through your nose. Hold it at the top and expel it out. Exhaling out slowly, deeply. And again, breathe in through your nose. Hold it. And expel it all the way out. Perfect. And again, in through your nose. Hold it. And just let it go, releasing all the way down. And just let your eyes close gently, softly down. Just letting yourself notice what you notice about your body. I'm going to have you unclasp your hands and either keep them, there you go, right there on the side. Perfect. And during this time, as you listen to my voice, know that any sound other than my voice is of absolute unimportance to you. My voice is the most important thing because I am the voice is the thing that delivers the message that you came here to experience today. And so why would you listen to anything else? Any other sound you hear is just a simple everyday noise that allows you to go deeper, deeper down because it's unimportant to you. And because it's unimportant to you, you can become unaware of it. Just continuing to breathe in a very, very relaxed way, noticing what your muscles feel like when they release, let go, relax further, deeper down, letting go of tension, knowing that on every single exhale from here forward, the relaxation of your body continues to increase more and more. The relaxation deepens more and more because the body knows how to do that. The natural relaxation of the body is kicked in with each and every exhale that you take during this time, because there is no limitation to how good you can feel, to how relaxed you can become, to how deeply you go. There's no limitation whatsoever. And so during this time, as deep as you go, during this time, your muscles, you find, just become softer, looser, limper. With every breath you take, the release of more and more tension allows the muscles of your body to go soft and loose and limp. Soft and loose and limp, just like a rag doll. And in a moment, with your verbal yes, do I have your permission to pick up your right hand just for a moment and show you the level of softness, looseness, limpness that I am speaking of? Okay. Then I'm going to pick up your arm and you just let it go soft and loose and limp, just like a rag doll. You don't have to hold on to any tension. That's right. Perfect. And as I drop it into your lap, that is the body's cue, and it understands perfectly that all muscles of the body, no matter how large, how small, all muscles of the body can now become soft and loose and limp, relaxing further deeper down, relaxing further deeper down, relaxing further deeper down. In a moment, I'm going to have you open your eyes and find your butterfly again. When you open your eyes, I simply want you to remember a time, and you can find that time right now. Remember back to a time when you were fighting sleep. Remember back to a time when you were fighting sleep and you had the sensation that your head was bobbing up and down because it was too heavy to hold up. You had the sensation of your eyes falling shut because they were too heavy to try to keep open. And when you find your butterfly, just simply allow your eyes to gaze on that, remembering back to a time when you were fighting sleep. 1, 2, 3, find your butterfly and let the eyes close down. Again, find the butterfly and let the eyes close down, and find the butterfly again and let the eyes close all the way down. Not because I say so, but because it feels better for the eyes to close down. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to try and open the eyes. When I ask you to try and open the eyes, you are going to create, pretend, imagine, and visualize that your eyes are locked down, unable to be open. Locked down, unable to be open. Locked down, unable to be open. When I ask you to try and open the eyes, you're going to visualize, pretend, imagine, and create the sensation that your eyes are locked down, unable to be open. And the more you try to open them, the harder you struggle, and the harder you struggle, the more you try, until I tell you otherwise. 1, 2, 3, go ahead and try and open the eyes. Feel how difficult it is. Feel how much you struggle. The more you struggle, the harder you try. And now you've stopped trying. Go ahead and go back. Go ahead and go back and just create. Just follow my instructions. Create, because you did it. You did it, and then you stopped doing it. So instead of stopping, go ahead and just continue it. Create, visualize, pretend that your eyes are locked down, unable to be open. Go ahead and try to open the eyes and just feel the struggle. Feel the struggle. The more you struggle, the harder it is. The harder it is, the more you try, until I simply say, release and let go, and let yourself relax further, deeper down. See, hypnosis isn't magic. Hypnosis is simply following a simple suggestion, which you've just proven, and I'm so glad you did, that you are always capable of accepting an invitation or declining an invitation. That you are always in control of accepting an invitation or declining an invitation. I can only make the invitation. You decide whether to accept or decline. And that is every single invitation here forward. Knowing that all of the suggestions I offer you, that I extend an invitation for you to accept, are for your greatest good and highest benefit. They will reflect everything that we have already spoken of. There are no other hidden agendas or hidden suggestions. They are all for your greatest good and highest benefit. And so you can decide right now whether you are someone who accepts invitations or who declines invitations. And you don't have to tell me. I don't have to know. This is something for you to internalize. And so moving forward, as I continue to extend invitations, you simply accept or decline everything within your power and your control, because you are a creator. And so as we continue this session, know that your mind can drift off. You can drift and dream and float. You can feel grounded into the chair as if you were sinking further down into it. Whichever way you want to experience this session is completely acceptable. Now, getting back to that conscious creator that you are, and that is why the exercise of the imagination, of visualizing that your eyes are locked down, unable to be important, so beneficial. And I'm glad that you experienced it just as you experienced it, because you do and you did see that you were capable of doing this until you stopped. And so knowing that your imagination has that much power to create things, this session is really about creating what it is that you want to create. Where do you put your focus? As soon as you took your focus away from creating what I asked you to create, it no longer existed. And the moment you took your focus back there, you were able to do it again. This is a fundamental understanding of how to consciously and deliberately create things in your life, because it requires your focus. So the fact that you had that experience made this session even more meaningful for you. And that is what today's session is all about. The creation formula. The formula that allows you to, no matter what it is in your life, really pause and think about the outcome that you wish to consciously experience. What it is that you are calling into your life. Because your life is being built every moment of every day. And in order for us to be a more deliberate creator, a more conscious participant in our life, it requires us to take a moment to pause and understand certain things. So now that you understand that your life is being built every moment of every day, and as you become more aware of the outcome that you wish to create, that an outcome is being made no matter what, then you can step into the other parts of the formula. So the formula is a squared plus s over t times f equals o. Now you know the o is already the outcome, that you're going to have an outcome either way. Is it going to be because you are a deliberate, conscious creator, or are you someone who is asleep and unaware of her own power? I would say you are a deliberate and conscious creator. Otherwise, you would not be here today. So the a squared, of course, is awareness. You need awareness to first understand what it is that wants changing, what it is that no longer serves you, what it is, the point in your life where you are at, and awareness, first of all. The second A is action. With just awareness, nothing changes. A different action has to be taken place. Now, if you think about it, you've done in certain areas the same action over and over and over and over again in your life until you didn't, until you changed the action, and that changed the path that you were on. So awareness and action, the first part of the formula. The second part is the S over T, space over time. It has taken you have had to move through space, and it has taken you a certain amount of time to create the outcome that you have now. So you must allow yourself the same space and time to move through and practice something different, so a new outcome can be created. A new outcome can be created because you're willing to go through space and time to see something different happen. Space and time can be simply a moment where you take time to pause, where you allow yourself to become aware that you can make a new choice, take a different action step. It doesn't have to be space and time of days, weeks, months, years. It's a moment. It's a breath. It's a moment that you give yourself as a gift to become aware. F is, of course, for focus. You, as a powerful being, have the ability to choose where your focus is at. Is your focus on something that is benefiting you or that is unbeneficial to you? Where is your focus? Focus is the fuel that keeps something going. So if you switch your focus and take your focus off of that which no longer serves you, if you remove your focus or remove the energy from that which no longer is good for you, if you take your focus off that which is no longer benefiting you, it simply becomes obsolete. You don't have to fight it. You do not have to engage in conflict with it. You do not have to negotiate with it, argue with it, any of those things. You simply remove your focus. You take the fuel away from it and allow it to become obsolete. And instead, you use your ability to choose your focus and you put it on something that benefits you, on something that feels better, on a more loving choice for yourself. Where do you choose to put your focus? Where do you choose to put your focus? Are you even aware of where your focus is? And if you are not, pause, breathe, take a breath. And then now you find that over time, you are building a completely different life than you were before. And if it doesn't even matter if it's in the area of health, it's in the area of time, money, job, personal relationships, this formula is a blanket formula for any area of your life. And what's more important, as you begin to interact with this idea of becoming a more deliberate participant in your life, a conscious creator, someone who is willing to think differently about what she is doing in any given moment, something changes. And the biggest change that happens is the self-dialogue that has been going on in your mind for so long. All of the chatter. The more you begin to participate with this, the more you realize how detrimental the voice in your head has been, how demeaning, how demotivating the dialogue that you've been having with yourself has been, how demoralizing, how self-deprecating, all of these things. So you come to an awareness, a point where you just say, you know what, I'm no longer willing to do that. And the only reason that voice kept popping up is because it had been there for so long that you forgot to even question why it was there, how it got there, and whose voice was it in the first place. Why are you still answering it to it? Let it be a voice. Guess what? It's that voice in your head is much like the radio in your car. If there's a song playing in your radio station in your car and you don't like it, you change it. If it's something that you don't want to listen to, you simply turn it off. Turn down the volume. You are in control, just as you are in control of what you listen to in your car. Maybe it's not even the radio station. Maybe you're listening to something via Bluetooth. We have so many different ways to be in control of the radio waves around us, of listening and tuning in to what we want to listen to. I personally don't like commercials anymore. So whenever a commercial in anything comes on, I switch it. I turn it off, I turn it down. I'm in control. I no longer am willing to listen to the chatter. I'm no longer willing to be spoon-fed information that I have not chosen to listen to. And so that voice in your head is still there because you never thought to turn the channel. No one told you you could turn the channel. No one told you you could dial something else in. No one told you that you could tune into something different. So what if you did turn it down, turned it to a different station? What if you turned off that judge and dialed up the observer and simply allowed yourself to be in a state of awareness, of observing what is going on, of gathering information without any emotional attachment, without any judgment to it whatsoever, but just a really objective, that's interesting. That's interesting that I would have said that remark about myself. That wasn't a very loving thing to say. I wonder what a more loving thing would be to say to myself. And as an observer, you begin to get curious. You begin to ask yourself different questions. I wonder what needs to happen for me to fully love and accept myself. I've noticed that I am not willing to fully love and accept myself. I wonder what needs to happen. What needs to happen? And whatever I decide what needs to happen, is it realistic? Is it loving? Or am I holding myself hostage? And I can simply make the choice and the decision to begin to love and accept myself right where I am for who I am right now, not because I feel like I'm better than anybody else, but because of my existence alone, I deserve love and acceptance. There's a bold statement of truth right there. I deserve love and acceptance simply because I exist. Try that one on. See how it feels. See where you feel resistance. And get curious about the resistance. What needs to happen in order for me to fully love and accept myself? And why am I keeping myself from that gift? Why am I keeping myself from that gift? Does it mean that I won't ever improve myself? I won't live up to my potential? Well, I certainly won't live up to it by not accepting myself and not loving myself. So what would happen? We as human beings have an innate nature to always want to go to the next level, to continue to discover who we can become. It's in our nature to learn, to discover, to explore, to know a deeper sense of ourselves, to know a deeper truth about ourselves. And so I think the best way to do that is always from a place of love and acceptance for who we are right now. Not because we're not enough, but because we are on a spiral upward moving journey, always willing to experience, to learn, to grow, to become the next best version of ourselves. There's always a next best version of ourselves. The sapling tree that doesn't want to discover the next best version of itself never becomes the majestic oak. But saplings never ask themselves those questions anyway. They already know it is in their nature to grow, discover, thrive, and become. Everything else in nature just allows this to happen quite naturally. We humans are the only ones that convolute it, make it difficult, dissect it, analyze it, think of all the reasons why we can't, why it's not okay to thrive, why it's not the right time to thrive, why it's not the right time to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. When in actuality, now is the only time for you to be the best version of yourself. Now is the only time to be the best version of yourself. Now is the perfect time to be the best version of yourself. So going forward, in the coming days and weeks, you now begin to realize and find all the ways that you are being successful at implementing and integrating this new formula into your life, finding and knowing that it is the right and perfect time for you to be the best version of yourself. And the truth of the matter is that you already are the best version of yourself right now. There is no other version of yourself to be but the best one right now. You're already doing it. The question is, what else is there to discover, to learn, to become, to experience, to explore? And I know that in the coming days and weeks that you are going to have a fascinating time contemplating these questions, and an even more fascinating time finding all of the different ways that you are already being successful at being the best version of yourself right now. And so if you are listening to this at a later date and time, and it is safe and appropriate for you to simply drift down into a state of deep sleep, you may do so only if it is safe and appropriate for you to do so. And you may do so simply by letting my voice now drift off into the distance, knowing that the messages that I bring and have brought to you continue to integrate themselves down to a very, very deep level, even after my voice has disappeared. And you remain asleep, sleeping restoratively, peacefully, calmly, as long as it is safe and appropriate for you to do so. If, however, this is the time for you to get on with whatever awaits you after this session, then you will open the eyes at the snap of my fingers, not before, but at the snap of my fingers. And in the meantime, you simply follow my count upwards from 1 to 5. Number 1, integrating all of the suggestions, ideas, learning, insight that have been shared with you today, not only in the hypnotic chair, but in the office prior to this as well. All of these things, you don't have to remember every single detail, because a deeper part of yourself has taken in all of this information and continues to integrate it down to a very, very deep level. Even after my voice has disappeared, you continue to integrate it on all levels, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, so that upon opening the eyes, you know that a new upgrade has just taken place. Number 2, you have a right to health, happiness, love, and success. Simply because you exist, you have a right to all of those things. You have a right to pursue that which brings you joy. And you have a right to be the most conscious, deliberate participant in your life that you wish to be. Number 3, on the next breath, you simply recognize the gift that it is. You recognize the oxygen that it brings to your body. You recognize the energy that it brings to every single cell. And you know that that breath marks every single moment of your life, one moment at a time, one breath at a time. Number 4, with curiosity as to in how many different ways this session plays out for you, knowing that you nor I have any idea to how many different ways you begin seeing in the coming days and weeks the effect that this session has had on your life. And number 5, getting ready to feel absolutely glorious upon opening the eyes, getting ready to feel awake, alert, energized, focused, and ready for whatever awaits you after this session. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, feeling fantastic.